One thing that the ELVS industry has helped to produce or to bring into our world is functionality, non-human security systems. The ELVS, it has played a whole lot of role in the entire security architecture of the world, where you really do not need a human presence to know what is happening in your facility. You don't really need to put a guard at this door so that nobody will come in here. But with the emergence of security system, you could actually have these things automated. You don't really need to be there. And more importantly, you can get real-time updates of what is happening in your facility.
Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening from wherever you may be watching us from. I'm your host, Bibiire Agbelusi, and you're welcome to another BASSCOMM talk show. And here with me, we have Engr Jasper, who is our BD ELVS manager here at Basscommnigeria. Stay tuned and watch out. Sir, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And stay tuned for more insightful episodes coming your way. So, sir, can you give us a brief introduction about yourself? Anything you think the viewers want to learn?
Okay, thank you so much, Bibiire, and good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, viewers. My name is Jasper Onyegbu. I studied civil engineering, and I've been in BASSCOMM since 2015. And my journey in BASSCOMM started with being a commercial executive, right, where I got through the rudiments of design, product equipment selections, proposal writing, quotations, and then from there, as God may have it, that's how I've grown from there to where I am today.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
That's very insightful. So, for you being in the ELVS space, what would you say is the role of extra low voltage systems in security?
You know, one thing that the ELVS industry has helped to produce or to bring into our world is the functionality of non-human security systems. You know, before now, prior to when these systems come on board, what we know is about human securities, personnel manning your facilities, carrying, batting, and all of that, just with their physical presence, surveilling and keeping the environment. But with the ELVS, it has played a whole lot of role in the entire security architecture of the world, where you really do not need a human presence to know what is happening in your facility. You don't really need to put a guard at this door so that nobody will come in here. But with the emergence of security systems, you could actually have these things automated. You don't really need to be there. And more importantly, you can get real-time updates of what is happening in your facility. So the ELVS has played a great role in the security environment and the security architecture of our world. It could either be whether it is personal in terms of residential or larger corporations. And with what we have done as a company in ELVS is amazing. It's mind-blowing, where your systems are controlled not even from your region, not even from your continent, right? And you just with a move of the mouse, you can actually give an instruction to a system that is in Germany, and you could see the action, right? So it has actually improved the security awareness and all of that in our world.
Okay, sir. Thank you for throwing so much light on my question. So, which is prompting another question that I want to have. So, how can commercial business owners and homeowners, how can they optimize the security setup in their buildings?
Yeah. So, if you look at what I've said in my opening statement, right, you realize that every business setup, that every business that is set up, people go into business to make profit. right?
Yes.
No matter what you do, no matter what you sell, no matter what you manufacture, no matter the service you render, the essence is profit.
Yes.
And with a lot of human involvement, right, labor, you find out that most of your profit is being used to either pay for some of these services in terms of salary or in terms of citizenship and all of that. Now, every business owner in our world now, we have turned from the manual way of doing things to automation. So with automation, you don't really need me to be on that site to push that button for what needed to be done to be done. You can actually automate the schedule and say, okay, this activity I want it to start working as from 7 p.m. every workday. And you set that on the system, automatically that thing happens every week, every day. Now, for business owners, it's important that they look at their assets. This could be machines. This could be their products. This could be important aspect of their businesses, right? That needs some level of security, which you might not even trust yourself to be able to keep. But you've put a system around, for example, the surveillance system or surveillance system combined with an access control system, right? And some of this your server room. Let's assume this is your server room. Anybody that have access into this your server room can actually take everything that is in your business, right? That's why when companies servers are being hacked, they are on a panic mode. They go into panic mode. So businesses can actually take advantage of this security systems and use that to improve their efficiency, use that to reduce their costs, right? Yes. And also use that to even become an innovative enterprise. Because come to think of it, if I am technologically savvy and I want to do business with you, and I come and I see that all you are doing is you are still using the analog systems, all your documentation is still paper, I'm like, I'll be set back. I'll have to set back and say, what's going on here? But if I come and I'm seeing what impresses me, right? Say, these guys are using the latest technology, I'm really going to do business with you. So one, safety of the assets, their staff, and their very peculiar equipment. Reduction of cost. Because when you buy, for example, you do a CCTV to cover your facility, you will, by that, reduce the number of security guards you need. Okay? And then you also use that system to actually automate and optimize your operations. So when things happen, you are not really going to be asking, because you have systems that from there you can actually make your research. So for business owners, whether commercial or even residential, small businesses, it's very important that they invest into this, because this is actually for the well-being and welfare of their business. Alright, they are not going to lose data, they are not going to lose critical access, and there's this confidence, there's this comfort you have knowing that even when you are sleeping, your business is covered. Right.
Okay, sir. As you were talking, a question just kept coming to my mind. It's coming from the aspect of, or from the angle of, an homeowner.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it might be very expensive because you mentioned a lot of things. But me bringing that to my house, is it going to cost me a lot of money? Like if I want to have a CCTV in my house or a burglary alarm system, home automations, will it be very expensive because I don't have much?
Okay. The question I'm going to ask the homeowners, or you as a homeowner, is for a system like fire alarm system, where you can even have standalone smoke detectors, alright, that can be integrated with your device. Which one is more costly? To use maybe less than 2 million to install maybe a wired fire alarm system in your business or your environment, or not to invest that money and come back tomorrow and find out that fire actually started in a battery of your home or your business, and you do not have a system to alert you when it was still at the minor stage, and then the whole business goes up in flame. Which one is more expensive? So because we have to really get it right. You might think it's expensive. It's not really expensive. For every of these systems, there are entry levels, all right, and there are basic levels which you can scale up as your business grows or as your need grows. So, for example, you talked about there's 4-channel CCTV system, right? There are even standalones that you can actually. They're like covered. We have covered cameras that might be like a bulb or something, just something to protect you. You know, we can never tell how far that thing can go to keep your business afloat. So it's not really expensive. You can start at your level. There's always an entry level. But one thing that I actually and always advise our customers is when you are getting your solution, make sure you get a good one. A good one, the difference between a good one and a bad one can even be 100,000, or can even be knowledge you don't know. So consult people that know and get the best, so that when there's need for you to increase, you can actually add more devices or add more controls to what you currently have. So it is not really going to be, it's not supposed to be expensive. You can actually start out from where you are or what you have. Yes.
All right. Thanks, sir. So in the course of conversation, you've been mentioning ELVS, and it keeps ringing in my head that it's just CCTV that is ELVS majorly, or there are other subsystems that are classified under ELVS.
Okay, so the ELVS actually is an acronym for extra low voltage systems. Okay, so it's part of electrical systems, but these are systems that use voltages between 79 volts to about 54 volts.
I don't know. Can you cite an example? I don't know.
So they don't really run on. They're not the 230 volts kind of systems. For example, let me make it easier for you. Your laptop.
Alright.
You cannot just use an extension and plug your laptop. Right? Your laptop comes with a power pack that have reduced the voltage that is at the extension 230 to maybe 12 volts or 24 volts. So ELVS system are the systems that work within this low, very low voltage. Now, the CCTV is just one, maybe the most pronounced, the most known, the most common among the ELVS system. So it's just one. Now we have the access control system. You know the CCTV system, what it does. You use that to keep surveillance of your environment and record. Okay. Now, one of the other advantages of the CCTV is that it serves as a deterrent. Right. Now we have the access control, with which you limit access to a particular place. For example, not everybody that comes into your office, into your company, should have access to your server room, should have access to your finance room. Okay, so you can put a system, just a door, a lock, a reader, kind of, and that will only allow people that have been given access to that door, to that facility, to get in. Okay, then we have the public address system. Public address system, sometimes you come to a mall, or you go to a bank, or you go to a facility and you hear background music playing from maybe speaker on the roof or from a wall, right? That's for entertainment and for announcement. So from a remote point, a remote place within the facility, you can actually make an announcement to everybody in that facility. Now, it's also find uses in manufacturing plants, in warehouses. Okay, people don't know, especially in Nigeria, they don't know that those systems are required. For example, you have over 500 staff working in your warehouse or your factory, and you need to call the attention of one person. You now start sending, I'm looking for John, but from the PA system, you can actually call and say, John, so and so person, meet me in this office. Okay, so that is that. Then we have The PA system can also be integrated with a voice evacuation system, where in a fire emergency, the systems, instead of you hearing blah 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 sound, you hear an intelligible sound telling you there is fire happening. Do not panic. It will give you direction on how to go and where to assemble. Okay, then, and all of these systems, there are many more. We have the intruder detection system or intruder alarm system. There are many more, but all of these systems, they work on the backbone of what we call structured cabling. Alright, structured cabling is when you have all of these systems. In fact, the other one I did mention is the IP telephone system or the PABS system, right? Where you can use to talk to people within the same space or even outside. Okay, that is not just GSM, right? So all of those work on the backbone of a network, which structured cabling or structured systems provide you that backbone. Some of them work on internet. Through the structured cabling infrastructure, you have the internet also distributed across the facility. So the ELVS has a lot of systems that fall under it. There's the environmental monitoring system, right? We even have building management or building operation system. We have smart home systems. All of these fall under ELVS. So when we use the word ELVS system, it's just an umbrella that covers a whole lot of systems. Yes.
Okay, so you said low voltage, they don't take so much, and you cited an example of the laptop. So does that mean if I bring these systems into my room, there's no need for me to be bothered about my electricity bill or anything?
No, it's not going to increase your electricity bill significantly. It's not going to increase your electricity bill significantly, because what they do, for example, the CCTV system for the IP is powered by its bus, which we call the network video recorder, NVR. That's what powers it, or a PoE switch. So the PoE switch can take the same power, like not lesser than your standing fan. Some of them, right? But if you're not going high level, all this is called high level here, but they can take minimum amount of power. So it's not going to cause your NEPA bill to increase by over 10%. Okay, yes.
I want to ask a question. Is there anything like remote monitoring?
Exactly. The security system and the security architecture has gone beyond physical monitoring. We have facilities, we've done several projects, where the configuration of the systems, where the administration of the systems, where the monitoring of the systems happen outside of Africa. So you are giving IP addresses or network parameters and say, okay, for this guy, for this controller, I give you this IP address, for this one do this, for this one do this. And with the schematic, the wiring schematic, right? You do that, and that's all that you are required to do. The programmer doesn't sit in your country, but provided they are on the same network with what you are working on, okay, then they can actually log into your system from wherever they are and do all the things they want to do. Okay, and if they want you to have an access, they give you an access. Okay, you go to their network, connect your laptop, log in with that access, and you can see. So remote monitoring for banks, for private organizations, for government facilities is actually the way to go. Yes, it's bigger than what needs the eye.
Right, because I saw on the internet one time that a mother was at her office, but she could still see what was going on in her house.
Of course, yes, that's
from just the comfort of her.
Exactly. One thing is you must have internet on both sides. Yes, where the device is located and where you are viewing from, you must have internet. Now, for the remote monitoring, so on that side, that's on CCTV. Right? You can also put controls. Okay, you can also put controls. For example, playback. We don't advise people to record on their devices because of the huge data that will be accumulated on the device. Yes, but you could actually, when something happens and you get a notification, if it's something of interest, you can actually record for that brief time as you can attend to this.
Alright, thank you very much, sir. You've shed so much light on what I've just been hearing the big English ELVS. Now I know what ELVS is, and I know the sub systems under ELVS.
You always welcome.
Because I've been hearing ELVS, and I don't even know what it is. I don't even know the systems that make up the ELVS. Now I know there is CCTV, there is home automation, several systems that are under ELVS, and also the PECs that come with it. And from the whole conversation today, all I've seen is just the advantages of having this system in your buildings. So back to the viewers, I'm sure you enjoyed this conversation, and I'm sure you learned one or two things. So if you would like to have these systems in your homes or in your buildings or in your offices, please reach out to Basscomm. We are the best company for that. And if you need more details, you can go to our profile. We have the CRM link